Today we are in a customer shower where we identified a leak coming from the shower threshold. There was a flood test done on the floor and it passed, no water came through. We sprayed water in and around this area of the threshold and water started dripping. So we're taking the threshold apart, and there's a couple things I'm just going to show you right off the bat. We've already gotten the shower door off. This area right in here underneath the shower door, particularly with the framed shower doors, you can see how much gunk collects underneath these. Water resides underneath the shower doors, and a fair amount of soap scum, mold, there's even some hair in here that has collected underneath this shower door. But one of the things that I kind of want to impress upon people is when you have a threshold and it's built with tile and grout, this grout, unless they're using an epoxy grout, is invariably porous. And when that water sits on this threshold, leaks can occur. Moving over, we've started to demo this out. And the first thing that I'm really concerned about is rot damage. They used some type of cementatious backer board that's holding together pretty well. It is not drywall. What I'm looking for is the waterproofing to make sure that the wood underneath the threshold, or the wood that's constructed to make the threshold, is not rotting. And this right here, while it doesn't look like it, it is the shower liner, which is great. I'm glad to see this shower liner was taken over the shower pan onto the threshold, and then they wrapped it to the outside of the threshold. And these tiles here are all fairly well held together. My suspicion is that water got through these grout lines and then hit this area right in here. And you can still see water right here collecting. And I would imagine the water rode over this, got into this seam, and then leaked down. So we're going to demo out the rest of this, and we might show you a few more shots of things that we find as we go along. Now that we have this threshold out, there's a little bit more that we can tell. What we have right here is where this is drywall and this is the liner, and there was a puddle of water, and you can still see there's quite a bit of water that's getting in there. Had they taken this waterproofing, there's probably a backer board behind this. Had they taken the backer board up to this point, waterproofed that, and then maybe put a seam of Lexil or silicone caulk there prior to tiling, that leak might not have occurred. But there's really no slope to this that sends the water into the pan. What we're going to do to fix this is we're going to seal up this corner, seal up all of these edges, put a waterproofing backer board on, and then we're actually going to put a piece of engineered stone, runs the length of this, there are no grout seams, and it's going to be pitched inward. So all of the water that comes down on whatever shower door they have, whether it be frameless or framed, all of that water is running this way. We don't want to have any water get in underneath. You can also see some water damage right in here. There's a little ant right there, a little friend. Ants usually like places where there's some moisture, soft wood, but you can see some rust in here. All of those things really are signs that that water had been getting out and rotting some things. From here on out, what we're going to be doing is cleaning this up, drying this, and then getting it to a point where we can seal all of these areas, and then we'll rebuild it. Right here, we have our cleaned out shower threshold. We've gotten all of the debris, everything's dry, and I want to just look at this for a moment. These are the areas where it's leaking. What we're going to do to fix this is we're actually going to take one of my favorite adhesives. It's a beast, Lat Epoxy 300. We're going to mix this pretty thin. It is, as its name suggests, an epoxy, which will, once it's cured, be waterproof. And what we're going to do is we're going to mix it thin and cover in this whole area in here, this whole tray. Okay. And we're going to get it up in here and up in this hole right in here. once that light epoxy is in, we're going to then take this waterproof foam core board, place it on top, press it in so it gives a nice flat surface. And then we're going to screw that in with standard backer screws. These are by Simpson. They can be any number of backer screws. We're just going to tack this down. And then we're going to coat the top of this with an epoxy, the Grout Epoxy 300. And then we're going to take this nice piece of engineered stone by Sateri or Satori, however they pronounce it, and we're going to put that down like so. This type of engineered stone is waterproof. It is not a naturally occurring stone. It's impregnated with an epoxy. The thing I like about this is it comes pre-cut to 6 inches, which is the standard width of most shower thresholds. So what we do is we buy one of these. I think it was about $49 at Lowe's, and we cut it down. I don't have to order this from a tile store, and it's just the perfect product. Another thing that I really like about these Satori engineered stone thresholds that I get at Lowe's is they come with a really nice plastic coating on them. First thing this does is it will protect these thresholds from minor scratches that might occur when you're transporting them. But the other thing that it also allows for is for you to draw lines on them where you might cut. Say, for example, that line is something I don't need. I can scrap it. I can draw another line. And then when I'm done cutting it, I can peel this plastic off, and we have a nice protected surface and no extraneous Sharpie marks or damage to the threshold. But the last step, what we'll do is we'll take a level and just check once again that the pitch goes this way. This goes into the shower, and the bubble will be on the opposite side of where the water will go.
If you found this video helpful, let us know by clicking like and consider subscribing to our channel. Feel free to message us in the comments section with any constructive questions or suggestions.